Howdy, howdy, this is Crafty Grinding back again with an arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I cover round 1 predictions for the new Void and Star-Lord arenas. So the first thing I like to do is kind of categorize these new arenas to past arenas, as that'll allow me then to kind of figure out what the trends are for these new arenas. And if you've seen the preview video for these arenas, you know that I categorize Void as, of course, new. I mean, with the 4-star and 3-star arenas, are either a new champ or old champ. That's how the past results really cluster. And when it comes to the Star-Lord arena, I've classified his arena as a mid-interest 4-star basic arena. So what does this mean looking at past arenas? So we'll start off first with the 4-star basic. Well, guess what? Since Star-Lord is kind of a make good by Kabam, the running of this arena now, because of the December arenas where Star-Lord, the second round, had there was a lot of game issues, a lot of instability. So Kabam is bringing Star-Lord back again. We have some really recent Star-Lord 4-star basic results to look at. And you can see with between round 1 and round 2, they were almost identical, with the cutoffs being around the 3.6 million, with that first shard tier at 11% coming in at 1.7 million. So not going to be too difficult to guess what I'm going to set the predictions at this time around. And then when we look at some recent 3-star new champ results, you can see with Taskmaster was right around 1.5 million, with MODOK about the same, just a little under 1.5 million, and even here most recently with Sentry, we saw it again almost at 1.5 million. Again here, similar to the 4-star basic Star-Lord arena, shouldn't be a big surprise on what I think the prediction will be for round 1 here, right? And lastly, when we look at the 4-star feature, now here's where we get a lot of variability. You can see with Blade, which wasn't too long ago, back in October, he set the all-time high at that time at 19.3 million. I still really consider that one the all-time high, even though Hela did set it a couple 100,000 higher, but she did have the bonus add of Valor added to the 4-star basic. So no bonus rewards included. Blade had the all-time high at 19.3 million, but then you have not the all-time low, but a recent lower result you saw with MODOK at 16.4 million, and then even here recently with Sentry, he came in at 18.2 million, and he's kind of an average champ at best. So this is kind of the some past results, recent results. So what about input from the community? Because the 4-star basic and the 3-star feature arenas are pretty straightforward on what those past results look like and what the trends hold. The only question that I really asked to the community this time is, what do they think? What do you think the first round cutoff will be for the 4-star feature void? And you can see the options here. And to be honest, it looks like the results are kind of split. There were 209 votes, and thank you very much to those folks in the community who took the time to vote, and especially those folks who went ahead and added some additional thoughts in the comment section. But you can see there wasn't a clear majority winner here. It's kind of back and forth from 17 to 18 million being the most at 41, but less than 10% away, just 9% away at 32%. A lot of people thought he'd go over 19 million. So some of the comments kind of, here's one example, just trying to compare his arena to Sentry. Honestly, he has some good uses, but he's not too OP. So this person thinks, kind of like a Sentry-like result, but Sentry did make it to 18.2 million. And then you see Jeremy Husband here. He looks like a serious science champ. I think that's kind of the consensus. Maybe Void isn't the OP, god tier champ we were hoping to get, but he's definitely a better champ than Sentry. And you can see Jeremy after Sentry seemed to be a bit of a letdown. Many are sure that Void will be the science savior, at least better, right? So, people have been saving up all the materials to level up and rank up science champs that maybe now Void will be the one to try to use it on. And I think the man Moses brings up a great point here. If Sentry went for 18.2 million to be exact, then Void should be able to go higher because they complement each other. And that makes total sense to me. If we just recently had Sentry go to 18 million, and even in the second round, when definitely the word was out that Sentry was kind of a average, kind of a mad champ kind of thing, he still went for 17 million. I really think Void here can definitely push on that 18.2 and maybe even higher. So with all this community input, plus the past results that we've looked at here are my thoughts for the first round predictions. And again, this is for the veterans bracket, so meaning your account has been open for more than 61 days, or 61 days plus, I should say. So, no big surprise here. I think Void will go higher than Sentry, but not significantly. I think, he's not going to be kind of God tier champ. There's no Valor to push hella numbers, that kind of stuff. So I think we're going to see a grind right around 18.5 million, with the top 10% coming at 4.6 million and that 11% coming in right around 2.5 million. Then when it comes to Starlight, hey, big surprise, right? On these numbers, do they look familiar? They were the round one and round two cutoffs that we just saw a few weeks ago back in December. So I think those numbers are going to be very similar, with 3.6 million for the cutoff for the champ for Star-Lord, with 11 to 25% shard tier coming in around 1.7 million. And if anything, I think these numbers might drop a little bit, because it wasn't just too long ago that everybody could have grabbed Star-Lord anyway. So if anything, these numbers might be a little high, but we could probably expect the cutoff to be around here. Then with the 3-star Void Arena, I mean, you've seen those recent results. It's right around 1.5, 1.52 million is where the cutoff we can expect it, with that 11% shard tier coming in at 650,000. Now, these are where I think the actual cutoffs will land for the veterans bracket. So I always like to give a grind target and a little buff, just in case, for whatever reason, these arenas go higher than expected. And out of all of these, the one that might do that might be the 4-star feature, because maybe more people like Void, just because of that need of a decent science champ. And Void is definitely a decent science champ. Maybe not a super science champ, but definitely a decent to good, great kind of science champ. He might go to 19 million. So you might want to go to 19.1 just for those folks who target 19 million, since it's a good round whole number, and go a little bit above that just to make sure you get him. If you really, especially if you already spent the time to go to 18 million for him, right? And then for the top 10%, you want to go to the 4.8 million, with 11% tiered coming in right around 2.6 million. Then we jump over to Star-Lord. Again, I would be really surprised if he goes higher than the 3.6 cutoff. But if you want to be sure, you should only have to go a couple hundred thousand higher to about 3.8 million, with 11 to 25% tier at 1.8 million. And then lastly, with the 3-star feature Void Arena, you want to go to 1.55 million to be sure, and 11 to 25% to 670. And again, this is for the veterans bracket. We look at some of the beginner and intermediate bracket as just as a reminder. I don't have a ton of past data to go by. I even have my free to play account that's in the intermediate bracket, so I feel a little bit better about these numbers, because I've proven the last couple the features arenas out, and I'll get to that here in a minute. But when it comes to the beginners bracket, it's a really volatile number. It changes all the time, the number of people that are actually in there playing in the beginners bracket, and there's not a lot of good results to go by. So these are just some general rough ranges to keep in mind for the 3-star feature. Around 245, 250,000, 4-star basic around 1.2 million, and the same for the 4-star feature at 1.2 million. Now, when we jump in the intermediate bracket, I can tell you these last two times with Archangel, the 3-star feature, I was able to score him for in the 3-star feature around 550,000 both times. And then when it comes to the 4-star feature, I had to go to 1.7 million, and I just made it at rank 195 and 196 between round one and round two, respectively. So I feel very confident in that 1.7 number. And if anything, that might be a little bit higher. I've heard some folks in the community, in the comment section, talk about like even 2 million. So you want to definitely push above that 1.7 million number if you're in the intermediate bracket and want to get Void as a 4-star champ. So anyway, these are for the intermediate bracket and beginner brackets, just very rough ranges to play against. So these are my thoughts though for all of the brackets, including the grind target and the round one predictions for the veterans bracket. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to discuss them. Throw them down in the comments section. We can just talk them there. And if you have any difference of opinion or just some different thoughts about these arenas, throw them down in the comment section. We can talk them there as well. So if you enjoyed and liked this video, we really appreciate you clicking that thumbs up button. And if you like this and other videos I have in the channel, we'd really appreciate a subscribe. Other than that, thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.